When I was growing up in Eastern Oregon, if we wanted to shop or needed to hit the airport to travel, or even if we just wanted to go to the movie theater, my family would pack us up and zip us over to the Boise, Idaho area. We would typically stay in the same motels, i.e. right by the freeway, mall, or airport, which, well, it just has to be said, those areas are pretty much the ugliest and just kind of the worst areas in all of Boise. So, after college, when my then fiancé, now husband, ran by moving to Boise, I pretty much thought that he had lost his mind.
Why would you even ask that?
Long story short, somehow, some way, he managed to convince me to just come and check it out for a little bit. In my mind, and he now admits in his as well at the time, our little venture in Boise was supposed to be just that, just kind of a pit stop, just a little post-college, pre-life stop before we moved on to find our real forever home. Lo and behold, we moved into an apartment right on Boise's Greenbelt, started exploring everything outside of the eyesore that really is I-84, and well, that was almost 20 years ago. We were both pretty hooked by just everything that Idaho has to offer and just the Boise lifestyle. That all said, this is certainly not the experience that all those who move here to test out living in Boise experience. And there are certainly some things that sure surprised me when we first got here, which I will be sharing with you today. So before you load up that U-Haul and start heading this way, let me pull back the curtain for you to give you just some seriously important things to consider and to know about before you make that decision to move here. For whatever reason, here are the things that nobody really seems to be talking about but are important to know. But first, let me introduce myself. I'm Marcy Ellison, a local real estate agent here in the Boise, Idaho area. My husband and I work hand in hand helping others explore our area. We love nothing more than helping people decide if A, it is the place for them, and then B, if it is, where exactly in our valley is going to be their perfect fit. And we would really love to do the same for you. So please take a quick sec and jot down our number so you can call us or text us whenever you're ready to connect and take that next step. We're here, very low pressure, and well, we've been told quite a number of times at this point, quite a lot of fun to work with. Okay, so now let's break these down. While the Boise area and really all of Idaho has boomed, well, Idaho's population is still hovering right below 2 million, which, well, in comparison to the rest of the nation, is very low. If you line up all the states in our great nation based on population size, well, we are all the way down at number 37, with the largest states, so numbers 1 and 2 being California and Texas. And then if you take a moment to consider how Idaho lines up size-wise, well, it surprises most to learn that Idaho is actually the 11th largest state in the US. So that means that even with our population surge, we still have, in relation to the vast majority of other US states, a lot of open space. And that is something that we certainly value and love.
I like it. Wide open spaces.
And on this note, and something that many do not realize when they are considering moving to Idaho, with all of our wide open space, well, if you are looking to unplug and detach a bit, you can obviously certainly do that. Or if the thought of not having cell phone reception and service makes you a little uneasy, well, that will happen to you here in Idaho. While overall our service has definitely increased over recent years, there are still areas, and quite a number of them actually, where service is either incredibly spotty or just flat out non-existent. So if you are going on a family camping trip and think that you'll just be checking in on your work emails a couple times a day, well, guess what? Whether you want to or not, you could very easily find yourself 100% on vacation. Quickly checking your work email or just firing out a reminder email to your team? Nope and nope. Idaho will likely have other plans for you. And while sometimes that quiet can definitely be a reprieve, or for some, it can also be stressful. And now, while our state's population density is low, the growth we have seen has undeniably worried and just flat out disgruntled some locals, which, well, if you're considering relocating to another top relocation state, such as Texas or South Carolina from, say, California, Washington, or Oregon, well, hate to break it to you, but you are going to see and experience that general angst. And yes, sometimes you're going to see those downright obnoxious and just pretty tacky move back to X state stickers. Wherever you move, that's just going to kind of be the case. So whether it's to Idaho or Texas or South Carolina, you will see them. And well, while we cringe every single time we're out driving around one of our amazing clients who are moving here from out of state and who are moving here with all the right reasons and have zero intent on changing Idaho, well, every time hit the microphone, sorry about that. Well, every single time we were behind a car with one of those stickers, It's annoying and just kind of embarrassing because it is not Idaho. In general, we are repeatedly told just how friendly Idahoans are. Some just unfortunately have poor taste in bumper stickers. So just know you will see that kind of hoopla. And also, well, please promise me that after moving here, you won't turn around and put a similar sticker on your vehicle after moving here, because, well, we have definitely seen that now a time or two.
Don't be a hypocrite.
Next up, while you likely have heard that here in Idaho we love our guns, well, hearing about it and seeing it are two very different things. If you move to Idaho, you can expect to see people of varying ages packing heat around you. Whether you are checking out at Costco or grabbing a macchiato at Starbucks, there will be a very good chance that someone, if not multiple someones, around you will be packing, and oftentimes openly. And on this note, you should probably know that more than half of your neighbors will own at least one firearm. And while I personally don't know any gun owner who literally only owns one gun, just straight out, typically once somebody buys a gun, well, they buy more. And or they've been raised in families of gun owners, so there was really never a time that they didn't own guns.
Now you see why I own so many guns?
Idaho is currently ranked 4th for gun ownership, with nearly 60% of Idahoan adults owning a firearm. So yeah, more than half of your neighbors will be armed, or at least their homes will be. While this statistic might surprise you, keep in mind that Idaho is known for hunting and outdoor sports. So yeah, firearms are a big part of our culture here. If you're curious to know more about Idaho's gun laws, we filmed a full video, which I will link to in the description of this video for you to check out later. Next up, while you likely know that Idaho is a very red and strongly conservative state, our capital city of Boise has actually turned increasingly bluer and really is now pretty much just kind of purple. And as you can see here, that is especially true in the north end of Boise. And then there are also some other smaller Idaho cities such as Haley and Ketchum that are also pretty blue. So for some who are considering moving to Idaho in search of a more conservative-leaning atmosphere, if they identify Boise first, which more often than not is one of the first Idaho cities and areas that people identify, because yeah, it's both the capital and the biggest metro area here in Idaho, well, Boise's political leanings might not be what you're looking for, and you might find yourself instead checking out some of its surrounding cities such as Meridian, Eagle, or Kuna. All three of these are much more predominantly red, so just a heads up on that one. On the other side though, if perhaps you identify more closely with the Democratic side of things, if seeing a big jacked up truck flying Go Brandon stickers and Trump 2024 flags, if that's going to irk you, well then you are going to have to either brace yourself or pick another state. Because living in Idaho will very likely mean, and especially right now being in a political year, that you are going to see that and typically multiple times a day. And that's true even of the more liberal leaning cities such as Boise.
Yes, I'm a Republican.
So please just know that on both ends of the political spectrum, we've known people who have arrived only to find themselves bouncing right back or bouncing to another Idaho city because they aren't thrilled with what they find. And again, we have seen this happen with both Democrats and Republicans. Next up, while just about everybody knows that Idaho has 4 distinct seasons, what isn't as commonly mentioned is how varied our seasons can be throughout various areas of the state. And some areas, such as in northern Idaho, so in towns like Sandpoint, Pend Oreille, or Coeur d'Alene, well, their winters can be harsh, with heavy snowfall and freezing temperatures. So winters alone up there, for many, can just be too much. Thankfully, down in southern Idaho, where we are, our winters are significantly more mild in comparison. We typically get enough snow to ensure we can head up to Bogus Basin to get our skiing or snowboarding fix on, but not so much that we have to, I don't know, own multiple shovels, or that we can rely on replacing our daily workout at the gym with snow shoveling. Next, while the rugged landscapes and vast wilderness are breathtaking, they also mean encounters with wildlife are not uncommon. From black bears to mountain lions, we even have some wolves. Idaho is home to some incredible wildlife. So if you're going to be embracing our incredible wilderness and great outdoors, which, well, I certainly hope you plan to do because, well, if not, you're going to be missing out on what is quite easily one of the best parts of calling Idaho home. But I digress. Please know that upon moving here, you'll want to take a beat to learn or to refresh your memory depending on where you're coming from. You're just going to want to learn about our general safety precautions, rules, and laws.
You can thank me later.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, potatoes. And yes, Idaho is famous for potatoes, but there's actually so much more to our agricultural scene. It almost always surprises people to discover just how much Idaho offers with this one. From trout farms to barley fields for brewing beer, to acres and acres of vineyards, to wheat fields, the list really just goes on. So just know Idaho offers agriculture that's, well, typically far beyond spuds. While you will likely find yourself embracing the potato culture, you will also likely be surprised by all of our other agricultural offerings and really gems. So if you're looking to learn more about what living in Idaho could and would be like for you, please jot down our number so you have it on hand for whenever you're ready to take that next step. Or if you aren't quite ready to hop on the phone, but would like to continue learning about what living in the Treasure Valley is really like, we have a fantastic and completely free, no strings attached relocation guide that you can download and peruse through at your leisure. There it is, actually, the physical copy. I will put a link to it in the description of this video. And then once you're ready to take that next step, give us a call or shoot us a text so we can set up an exploratory call with you and whoever it is who's moving alongside of you. My very low pressure, but also highly professional and proven team are here and ready to help. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.